Hi everyone, welcome to Bonsai Expression. I'm Christoph, and today, well, the ginkgo. It's not looking the healthiest. I mean, it's healthy, but it's starting to be affected. Now, why? Well, it's struggling because, well, it needs to go into a larger pot. I missed repotting season, and now it's starting to struggle. It's supposed to be a nice dark green. Actually, the camera shows it off as greener than it actually is, but it's actually starting, if you can see on some of the leaves, they're looking more yellowy, as if it's more autumn colours. It looks like it's starting to go into autumn. It should be actually a nice dark green colour. Now that is because it's so root bound, the soil is actually, if you can see it, it's actually starting to mound over the pot. It's full of roots. So today I'm actually going to slip pot it into a bigger pot, which is this one. Now it's a lot bigger. In fact, this pot can actually sit in there nicely. It's about, if I put it over, it's a good chunk bigger. So today that's exactly what we're going to be doing. I'm going to slip pot it in there, and then I'm going to just turf it with a load of fertiliser as well. Make sure this tree is healthy. And I'm also going to give it a bit of a prune because I've let it grow because it needed it. But on the downside is let it grow. The roots have grown with it, hence why it's struggling. But it needs a bit of a prune just to help it manage its shape. That will also help the roots grow into its new pop. So let's get this started. Let's get this tree back in its healthy environment that it needs. Let's get more vigour back into it. Now this camera angle actually shows better just how yellowing these leaves are. Look at the state of that one at the back. And it's like that throughout the tree. Now if I take you over to my other ginkgo, which is just over there, you can actually see just from here how dark those leaves are. And I've got another ginkgo as well, if I just show you, which is this one. This one, they're fresh leaves at the back, but look how dark those leaves are just there. And then you've got the fresh nice new leaves over at the front, so that should be nice and dark, where these ones are quite yellow all over the tree. So I haven't got much soil mixed up. I hope I've got enough. I should have plenty. So this soil mix is my good old trusted mix. As you can see, pine bark, clay molar, a bit of vermiculite in there, and then we've got plenty of sphagnum moss as well, which is good for the roots. And the roots will definitely thrive with that stuff. So first things first, I know that this, if I get you in there, is tied in, so I've got to clip those out. And I've got a couple of pots of fertiliser there. I'll put them to one side because I'm definitely going to reuse that. That's my new fertiliser I've just bought. And I'm going to use more of that as well. So let's get you on the tripod and we'll start onto this. I'm just going to do the same thing as I always do. So I'll start by taking the tree out. I'm taking my wires off. And then this tree, I'm hoping will just pop out. So, because it's a plastic pot, I'm just going to give it a gentle tapping. Oh, look at that. Straight out. This is going to be easy. Now, I don't want to do any root work on this at all. So I'm just going to go around and gently caress this out. There we go. Now let's have a look at these roots. As you can see, jam-packed. Now I need to get this out without damaging the roots. There we go. What's that in there? There's a slug. I definitely don't want that. And just look how them roots are in there. There's loads of them. So all I'm going to do, I'm not going to mess with those roots at all. I'm just going to put the tree up there. Put my new soil in. Well, try not to throw it everywhere first off. I'll lay my soil in. I'll get my tree in nicely. Make sure it's centered. Get my soil round the tree. And once I've got it in, I'm just going to work the new soil in as well with a chopstick, just to make sure we've got no air gaps. Last thing I want is air gaps with this new soil. And I've just enough soil. Look at that, just enough soil. Right, I'm gonna grab myself a chopstick. Now let's just make sure we've got no air gaps. I'm just going to work my way around the whole of the side of this tree, and then if I've got any air gaps, there we go. So an air gap's filled up here, as you can see. The soil's gone down. All I'm going to do is just refill that air gap with more soil. Till it's completely full. So I'll work my way around, make sure there's no air gaps, and when the air gaps are completely full, and then I'll come back to you. So I've got ahead and watered it as well now, and just to make sure it stays in the tree, well, make sure the tree stays in the pot securely, I've just put these 2 pebbles in as well. So I've done a Nigel Saunders, make sure it's in. I've not wired it in, and now I need to give it a bit of a trim just to give it some shape. I've got this branch that comes, well, it's more of a sucker that comes from down low, and it comes up, starts off at the back, but then comes across the front of the tree. Now ideally that's not what you want, but this is a ginkgo, and obviously ginkgos tend to be styled as a flame. So to highlight the flame look, what I would like to do is incorporate this, but I don't want it crossing too badly. So I've got it going up, goes off to the left, and then it comes right across the front of the tree. Now this side on the right, I want to bring it right back. I want to utilize this front leaf, and I want it to branch and re-sprout from this. So I'm just going to come right back, trim to here, and encourage new buds from the base here to come this way. Keep it down low, and this left branch that comes right across here, that goes right across the front of the tree, I'm going to still utilize this, but I'm going to bring it much lower in, and I want to have it branching somewhere over to the left here. So I'm going to cut it just here and allow it to bud from here, hopefully utilizing it going to the left side of the tree, as you can see here and here, budding this way. Now that will keep that low, utilizing this sort of section, keeping it low, and we've got a nice little nice little section at the lower side of the tree, as you can see there. So that is how I intend to style the base of this tree. You never know, I should get some more suckers lower down later on, and it should fill out this section, and then we can style it upwards as well. Moving into the top of the tree, if this is my front, and for you it will be here, you can see it is bare. I would like to hopefully encourage more growth towards this side of the tree, so I'm going to bring this branch down to here, hopefully encouraging more growth to the right. Same again with this, well, we'll stay down here, and I want, this is the right branch, and again it's starting to creep to the left, although I've got nothing off the left side. This is going to start creeping off to the left if I continue to allow it to grow, so I would like it to grow forward. Just bring it back here. Don't want it going too far over, so for now I'll just leave it there. In fact, I'll bring it further back to there. Up in the main part of the tree, we'll stick to the right side. Again, I'm just going to lower it down to here. This left side of the tree, just going to bring in a little bit. Again, hopefully it'll develop to the left. Now, the top of the tree is growing up. It is making the tree elongate, but it is also encouraging the growth, which will in turn thicken up the tree. But because there is nothing more further down low, it is bringing all the energy upwards, so I need to encourage the energy to grow downwards. So I have to in turn take the top off to encourage back budding further down. So again, we're going to do that. We'll take it there. This one, just going to go ahead and cut here. Again, we've got quite a dense populated part here. By snipping these, it'll encourage more, but I'm hoping that again it will push more growth further down the tree. You can see I've got a growth just at the back here, but again I'm going to bring it further back to here, to this leaf, which will encourage sideward growth, which will grow a back branch. Other than that, there's not really much else I can do. I can go even lower and bring the tree more and more low, but for now, well, lower, but for now I would like, in fact, yeah, I think I will. I think I'll take the top off even lower. I'm just going to go there, and I've still got that back branch that I like. And I've got some sections here that I'm going to try and use for cuttings. So far, I've tried like 5 cuttings, and every one of them has been a failure. I've heard that most likely my failure has been because I've not been using root hormone. So that is what I'm going to try and do today. Use root hormone. And all I'm doing now is just neatening up my previous cuts. But there we go, that is it for today. In terms of my repot, or my slip pot, or my trim, it's just neatened up the tree. I'll do my root cutting, I'll do my cuttings off camera, and then if I have any success, I'll show you them in the future. But that's my tree. Now that I've gone ahead and slip potted it into a nice new pot and some lovely fresh soil, them roots will find their way into that nice soil, as I say, and hopefully the slightly ill health tree with the yellowing leaves, well, it'll start turning its health back into the positive. Nice green leaves eventually in the next couple of weeks as the roots and new roots, because it will start pushing new roots again, will start working their way into the fresh soil, and it'll start working its way into producing new roots, new growth up top, especially where we've trimmed it, and it'll start pushing out all growth here, there and everywhere, as I keep saying in all my videos. It'll push it everywhere I like, everywhere I want it. So there's one thing left to do, which is get the fertiliser that we've taken off, and I'm going to pop it in the new soil, which will also help encourage them roots to grow into the new soil, because all the fertiliser's there and it'll search out for the fertiliser. It'll search out for all the new minerals, new fertiliser, everything that the tree needs to grow. So it'll search for the most fertile soil, which will be around the outsides where that fertiliser is now, rather than the older soil where the less fertiliser is. I mean, there's going to be some fertiliser in there, but with the fresh stuff in there, and that's going to be the most fertile stuff for it. As I say, it's got more sphagnum moss in there as well, which has obviously got all the beneficial bacteria in there. So it's going to go searching for that. So it's going to get fresh growth. It's got more room in there. So I can't see it doing anything but good stuff for it. So in a couple of weeks, we'll come back and I'll show you how good this tree's doing. That's the theory, but I can't see it not doing it. So yeah. So the tree should go from having yellow leaves to having nice dark green leaves in a couple of weeks. Might even be a couple of days, depending on how fast it reacts. Anyway, if you like this one and you want to see more, please do give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you later. Enjoy bonsai.